Pro League is where some of the best players in the world showcase their skills at the highest level. Now with that, I'm going to show you some insane tips and tricks that have been used in the Pro League, and you're going to see just a few examples of what's to come in today's video. Now some of these are super simple and highly effective to use, and have been used by some amazing pro players like Stompin and the legendary Bolo. Now what I want you to do is go down into the comment section and let me know what you would do to fix Siege in its current state. Now we're aiming for 200k by the end of October, so make sure to hit that subscribe button, and without me talking anymore, let's dive in and get started. So for this first trick, this involves Thermite and Rauora. Now you're going to use her door panels to help in getting hatches open, and here's an example of this on a bank inside the small office on the first floor. So you're going to have her put the door panel on the office entrance, and then you can place a Thermite charge on the bottom right of the panel. This is great if you don't have the utility to get the hatch open, because this will open up the hatch even though there's a K device on it, and it will give you access to the site. Now there are other maps that this works on as well, so you definitely want to try it out. It is a really simple but highly effective trick to use, and here's an example of it in Pro League.
Either you're gonna leave Flash up or you're gonna leave Maestro.
Oh, for the Thermite! He's gonna put it on the Rauora to break the K trick. Dude, I just saw a YouTube short about this too. This is so funny.
That's awesome.
Well done, Evil
And he gets
Connections.
a kill!
Oh my god!
Moving on to the next trick, guys, and this involves Aruni, and this is a way to trick the hatch and delay attackers in getting the hatch open. So you're going to reinforce the hatch, you're then going to place a gate on top of it, and this example here on bank, you're going to go downstairs inside CCTV and jump up on top of the desk. Now by being on the desk, it's going to temporarily disable the gate, and you can drop off the desk and it will destroy any utility they've put down on top of the hatch. You could constantly be moving up and down off the desk, tricking them and delaying them into trying to put the gadget down, because the only way they could clear it is with an EMP, or if it's activated and they throw something on it. Now randomly at times I have issues with high ping, and because of the release of Siege X, a lot of my friends are coming back to play Siege, but they play on different regions. That means I have high ping, and it's very frustrating and difficult to play the game. Now a lot of people ask me what do I do about this, and I use an application called Gear Up. It's an application which basically lowers my ping to the lowest level. There's no packet loss, it's latency free, and it won't have any random spiking as well. So when you download it, it literally takes 2 seconds. You just enter your email address and you will get a new account with a 3-day free trial with any annual plan. And once you've done that, you just click on Siege and you press boost. So like right now I have Gear Up off, and it's just like you can see here on bank, I have 196 ping, but when I turn it on, you can see my ping drop down to 140, which is a huge difference, and it's even better on servers that are close to your location. I live on the west coast of the US, and when I'm playing on East, I normally get like 60-70 ping, but when I'm using the application, I'm getting 13 or 14 ping, which I think is the lowest ping that I've gotten using the application. Let me know down in the comments what's the lowest ping that you've gotten, and if you want to try this out, you can use my free trial using the code DANGLE. So on the application, you go down to the bottom right hand corner where it says My Wallet, click on that, enter the code DANGLE, and you'll get a free trial to try out the application. Now Gear Up is completely safe to use, and they've been in partnership with other content creators such as Pekini, Atheno, and Tequil. And I just want to say thank you to Gear Up for supporting this video. We're going to stay with Aruni for this next trick. Now I did show you this in one of my previous Pro League videos, but because of the hatch tricking, I wanted to remind you of this one. So you can actually use Aruni gates to protect Mira windows from being destroyed. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the sweet spot where the barrier turns on and off, and whether an Ash or an Ace is peeking in the door and they're going to throw or fire an Ash charge onto the Mira window, you can move backwards, activate the barrier, and destroy the utility. This is a great way to waste time, keep the Mira online, and keep the site secure for a little longer. Now moving on to Border for this next one, this is a Thermite trick for opening up that hatch down into bathroom by going upstairs into the second floor offices. Now this is a very precise placement by placing the Thermite charge on the floor over by the window here, making sure that the Thermite charge is touching the metal beam in the middle and it's at an angle. If you do this, the hatch will open regardless of there being a K device on it, and it will give you access to the site, and this is so useful to know, especially if you don't have any EMPs, to clear the K gadget off of the hatch. You can then drop in and get that diffuser down. This is a really strong one to remember for future. Now moving on to the next one, and this is a C4 lineup staying inside the second floor offices on Border, and what you can do is you can actually line up a C4 to hit right on that east stairs door, which of course is a very high traffic area in the early round as attackers are pushing into the building. So you're going to come over to to the printer here, you're going to line up exactly where I have on screen, and then you're going to look up at the ceiling where that little wire is on the ceiling, and you'll be able to launch a C4 up over that window, and it will land exactly outside the doorway in the hallway. Now if you team this up with a Valkyrie, so you have the intel to know that there's a couple of attackers there, you can throw that C4 and get some easy picks. Moving on to the next trick, guys, and this is a really strong capitao EMP combo that you can use over on Clubhouse. Now of course the rafters area inside garage is a very strong power position for defenders to protect against attackers pushing into garage. They're going to have ADSs, they're going to have Kiba barriers blocking the rafters. So what you can do is you can actually breach into the front side of the garage, and once you're down underneath rafters, you can throw a couple of EMPs to clear those ADSs, and then you're going to use the crossbow to fire arrows onto the ceiling, and the fire will drop down on top of them. This is a really strong way to take control of garage, and you're going to see an example of this in Pro League.
This could be a great use of utility, disabling all three simultaneously. Foresight forced back. He's stuck in a rock in a hard space with the literal mountain in front of him.
And moving on to the next one, guys, and this is a spawn peek over on Chalet inside the master bedroom on the second floor. Now you're going to break a little bit of the window open, and you're going to aim exactly on the trees as you can see on screen, and if you wait about 1 to 2 seconds and start pre-firing, they're going to spawn in on campfire and walk straight into these bullets. Now I'm going to show you from the other perspective what this looks like. So when they're spawning in on campfire, they're going to either run to the right or come down the hill to the left here, and this is where your bullets are going to be hitting, right on the top of this little hill here on the floor right in front of you. So they will have no chance if you pre-fire it at the exact right time, and you're going to see an example of this and how it played out in Pro League.
Get there first through the trees.
On to the next trick, guys, and this is a Denari shotgun combo that you can use for the blue stairs on a bank. So a lot of attackers are going to be pushing in through electrical and heading down towards this blue stairs. So what you're going to do is at near the top of the stairs, whether it's the top step or the second step, you're just going to place 2 trip connectors hidden out of view on the stairs. Now the attackers are not going to be able to see those lasers, and then what you're going to do is you would normally have someone with a shotgun maybe holding this staircase, and you could have them tucked next to the fire extinguisher at the bottom of the stairs. So the attacker's going to come in, they're going to start walking down the stairs, they're going to hit the Denari, and they're going to be slowed and damaged, and then you can shotgun them and take them out. Now you're going to see how this played out in Pro League.
That in his pocket right up until the final minute. It does look a little bit all over the place though. It's not a clear push one way or another.
Moving on to the next one, guys, and this is a double angle over on Skyscraper that you need to be using. So it's located inside Dragon on the second floor. You're going to make some holes in the bottom of this soft wall here and then shoot a couple of holes in the floor. Now you're going to be able to see that little entrance as they're coming into bottom house downstairs, and if you look a little bit to your left, you'll also be able to see the staircase heading up towards the bomb site. Now if you break open the right hand side of the wall, you'll be able to see the bathroom door and the master door downstairs as well, so you have multiple points of view to look at for any attackers if they're trying to make a play from downstairs. Now you're going to see this from the other perspective. You can see that you'll be able to see the bathroom door, the master door, and of course, like I said, that little entrance as they come into lower house. And then as they approach the door, they're going to see that opening, but because of the way it's angled, you'll be able to see their feet before they can see you. So this is a great one to remember for future when you're playing on Skyscraper. Now we're going to go over onto Clubhouse for this next one, and this is a crazy setup used by SSG for this cache site on the second floor. So what you're going to do is you're going to need castle, and you're going to castle that main entrance and castle the doorway coming in towards lounge. Now the last 2 castles are going to go on the stock door and the blue stairs door over to your right. Now normally you would probably put head holes in that lounge wall into garage, but what you're going to do and what they did is they actually put a rotate in towards garage. Now you're going to rely on your teammates holding down here to stop anyone pushing into that lower garage area, and with the help of the castles you will have a bit more safety in delaying time with the attackers making that push. Now the second part of this setup involves Mira, so you're going to come up to the top of red stairs, you're going to reinforce the middle wall, you're going to make a rotate on the right side and head holes on the left. Now this is important of course for holding the con push for any attackers trying to push in from that side. So this covers downstairs and of course is going to cover con. So that's 2 parts of this setup complete. Now the next part, what you're going to do is you're going to do this little bit of an unorthodox setup here inside rafters, is you're going to reinforce both of these walls between rafters and the main site. Now, of course, you're going to reinforce the main walls as well, and then you're going to place a Mira on the right-hand side of the reinforcement. Now, you're actually going to break this Mira open straight away, and you're going to use this as angles if they get that main wall open. You can also look to your left for anyone outside of the window as well on highway. So this is a really strong multiple setup that requires teammates and coordination for it to work. Now, here's just a little bit of a reminder of all the castles that you need to reinforce. And of course, like I said, this is an orthodox setup, so it's going to require some practice, but it could be a really effective one to try out in ranked. And this is the rotate you're going to make to help in protecting your teammates sitting on the Mira on rafters. Now, of course, once they get that main wall open, you'll be able to sit up here and wait for them to peek, and you can use that mirror window and have the protection of the reinforced walls so they can't shoot your legs to take them out as they push in towards the site. I would definitely try this out, and I'm very excited to try this out and see how it plays out in a ranked match. Now, like I said, this is an advanced setup and requires a lot of teamwork, but if you can pull this off, this could be an amazing setup to use for future playing this map. Now, moving on to the next one, guys, and this is a Mira Tubarao combo that you can use for tricking the wall. Now, this is again one of those unorthodox ones that you might only ever see in Pro League, but you never know, you could use this in a situation. So what's going to happen here is that if Thermite is putting a gadget on the wall, you can have Tubarao put his gadget on it to stop it from activating, and then you can place a Mira window on it which will destroy the gadget. Now, this is going to waste utility for the attackers, and you could say it might be wasting utility for the Mira, but it's also going to really force the issue and put pressure on them, as you can actually shoot that Mira open if they tried to place the second one down. Now, of course, we were just kind of messing around here to see what would happen if this is the case, but you could just shoot the Mira window open, and of course, if they have that second one on there, you could either trick it again or just break it before it activates to get the wall open. It's a good one to have in the locker. Once again, it might not always be used, but it's a good one to remember. Now, this is a crazy grim site clear for Consulate for that single wall on the second floor. Now, this can work with Ying, or you could team up both of them together and just completely take control of this site very quickly if you had a coordinated team push into the site. So these are just some of the lineups that you're going to do. So you're going to come outside of the single wall, and you're going to make sure that you have the sticky one on first, so you can stick it to the ceiling and they will drop down onto that right hand side of the window. The one on the left is required to be bounced, and the same with the second two will be bounced above that middle window, and this will cover the entire site into the CO office, onto that doorway out towards Visa stairs, and behind that desk where a lot of people would like to sit. And if you team that up with a Ying, this could be the ultimate push and quick push for getting the diffuser down inside the site. This again was a really strong effective clear, and it definitely would be using it in the future. Now, this is an unorthodox trick that you can use, and it was used by Rexon in one of the recent Pro League matches for stopping anyone trying to peek that CC window. Now, a lot of people will put an OSA shield on that CC window and break it so that they can't peek out of it and take out anyone sitting out on highway on the windows. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to roll one of the sense walls along by this generator all the way along the top of the roof here, and then you're going to turn it off. Now, you could just bait and lay prone waiting for someone to peek that window, and as they do, you can activate the wall so they can't see where you are. You could reposition yourself and then turn the walls off again and take out the person sitting on the window.
Can we just have a look? This Sens wall. Spectate Rexon for a second, Sky. Look at these. The Sens wall.
Off the window. Yeah.
So that's genius. I'd never thought of that as a way to counter the peaks from outside of that window.
Yep.
But
so moving on to Nighthaven, guys, and I have a couple of really strong Fenrir spots that you're going to want to know for this top floor site to slow attackers when they're pushing towards the site. So you're going to place the first one on that beam outside of that warehouse door. It's going to be very difficult for attackers to destroy this. As they approach that door, they're going to get hit by the Fenrir and you'll be able to take them out. Now, the second one is to stop them as they're pushing in through the IT wall, especially if they get it open, of course, and you can hide it inside the ivy on that panel on the ceiling. Now, once they've pushed in through the breach and they're coming up towards the top of IT here, they're going to be using this desk for cover, trying to get angles in towards office, but it's going to be so difficult for them to find that Fenrir, and it's going to give the defenders an upper hand in taking them out. The same goes for this one right outside the warehouse door. Once they hit it, they're completely at risk of being cleared out by the defenders. Now, moving on to the next one, guys, and this is going to take us over on to Chalet for another really strong Fenrir spot that was used by Canadian. So if you go downstairs into the basement, especially if the bomb site is inside the bar and games room, and right by pillar here, if you shoot a small hole in the ceiling, you can place one right under the main entrance upstairs in the main lobby. Now as they push in that doorway, and this is why it's so strong for that bar site, they're going to get instantly picked off by that Fenrir, and then your defenders can peek out and take them out. It's really simple, but again a highly effective one for stopping them, making a quick push in that main entrance. So that's it for the video today, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to go down to the comment section. Let me know what you could do to change Siege. There's a lot of people, you know, with hashtag save Siege at the moment. So if you have an idea, I'd love to hear it down in the comments. Now, of course, make sure to follow me on all my socials. Join up on my Discord. I have loads of stuff going on over there, and keep up to date on everything that I'm doing. And of course, I stream over on Twitch every second day. So make sure to follow me over there and join me for some games. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload my next video. And as always, I'll talk to you in the next one.